With a former footballer being found guilty of assaulting his wife at their home in 2021, even after calling out a load of people online recently, it's really weird. Another YouTuber who's being accused of SA and is being detained over in Australia, being investigated for another count of SA when he was in Spain, adding to his charges. Another plane crash going on over in France as two air display planes collided, and then a 33-year-old man crashing a mini four-wheeler into a Tesla Cybertruck as the hate against Tesla and Elon Musk escalate. There is a hell of a lot that's going on in the world at the moment, so let's break it all down and kind of get into the news, shall we? So, the first thing we're going to talk about is former footballer Joey Barton. Now, Joey Barton has been really vocal recently, especially when it comes to Danny Aarons and Joe Weller, after he called out the Sidemen for their charity match, in which they raised £4.7 million for charity, including children in need and stuff like this. And he came out in a load of different statements talking about quote-unquote El Spastico and calling it, like, basically asking why would people be raising so much money for, you know, arslers? It was really unhinged and it was really bad. Well, the joke's on Joey Barton, as he has now been found guilty of assaulting his wife in 2021. Like, what a dick. What an absolute dick. So, former footballer Joey Barton has avoided jail for pushing his wife over and kicking her in the head. The incident happened at their home in southwest London in June of 2021. Barton, 42, was convicted of assault and was given a 12-week sentence, suspended for 2 years, meaning he will not go to prison unless he commits another offence. Georgia Barton was left with a lump on her forehead and bleeding from her nose after the attack in Kew. The court has heard that Barton had been drinking with two other couples as their children slept upstairs before the argument started over a family matter. Mrs. Barton called 999 and said that her husband had hit her, but later sent a letter retracting the statement. Obviously coercion. Barton was arrested in his bedroom still drunk on the night of the attack in Westminster Magistrates Court, was told. His wife, 38, was taken to the police station, was given a no-comment interview, and on Tuesday, the Magistrates Court of Paul Goldspring described the ex-Man City and QPR player story as, quote, vague, and convicted him of assault in a 2-day trial. What an absolute scumbag. It just goes to show that even with all the money in the world, you can still be a massive prick. But that's not all, as Young Philly, you've obviously, you can assume you've probably heard the name. Obviously, he was a part of the Beta Squad, an absolutely massive influencer, rapper, social media person, right? He's been detained over in Australia for SA, or alleged SA, right? But the police must have something on him because he has to check in once a day. He's not a flight risk. He's been detained over to Perth. But now the situation for Young Philly has just got so much worse, as the YouTube star and rapper Young Philly has been accused of a second assault, this time by Spanish authorities who have been investigating the popular personality since the summer of 2024. So this actually has been investigated prior to the initial offences that caused him to be detained in in Australia. So let's fast forward. On March 24th, 2025, UK news outlets reported that in the summer of 2024, a British woman reported to the police that Philly had assaulted her in a hotel room after a performance in Magaluf, a town on the west coast of the Spanish island of Mallorca. The woman stated that Philly forced himself onto her and after she had consensual sex with one of his friends, and she reported the incident to the British police several weeks after returning to the UK from her vacation. Authorities passed the information to the Spanish Civil Guard, who had been investigating the matter in Palmer Court. According to reports from the UK outlets, sources claim that the magistrates had asked Australian authorities to question the YouTuber on Spain's behalf in the midst of the current court proceedings. Now, obviously, this just adds massive insult to injury to the current claims that are already going against Young Philly. Obviously does not play in his part whatsoever, and if he is found guilty of these charges as well, it will just add to the sentence that he could potentially get alongside the ones of the claims from Australia. It's not looking good. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on that though down in the comments. Next, we're going to be talking about another plane crash. This time it's not coming from America. It actually comes as two Alpha jets have crashed mid-air whilst training for the Patrouille de France display, right? So the pilots actually survived this after ejecting on time from their planes. But this is the startling footage that has been going around social media. Fortunately, they were able to act quick enough to the point where they were actually able to get out of the planes safely and no injuries were reported. Pretty terrifying stuff. But the last thing that we're going to be talking about is a 33-year-old man who's crashed his mini four-wheeler into a Tesla Cybertruck, and this comes after a series of attacks across the United States against Elon Musk and Tesla, right? So police have arrested Demarkian Cox, 33, who is charged with 1 count of felony criminal mischief and failure to identify. He is being held at the Bi-State Jail in Texarkana, Texas. According to the Texarkana, Texas Police Department, the investigation is currently ongoing, and the first report of vandalism come from the Golden Palace restaurant, where surveillance footage captured a man on a mini four-wheeler intentionally ramming a parked Tesla at full speed. While officers were searching for the suspect, another report came regarding damage to a Tesla in Lowe's parking lot. The incident follows a series of attacks across the United States against Tesla, and this is the alleged attack that took place. Bro is literally going in. Crazy shenanigans going on over in America, but what do you guys make of all of this? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.